Public Utility Minister Marvin Gonzalez have urged the population to appreciate and be grateful for the availability of the utilities. This, as Gonzalez recalled, time in his life when he had to fetch water using a bucket from a nearby river. Gonzalez, I want you to understand something. I want you, Mr. Gonzalez, to understand something. You are being paid thousands of dollars by public utility, by the finance ministry, to govern Wasa. Come on. To govern Wasa, I want you to understand that you ain't going in no office for no free code. You are being paid. Do not tell me that I, Saieed, have to be grateful for the water I get it. Let me tell you something, Gonzalez. Every 4 months, I have to pay $400 and I get water once a bloody month. So don't come on a media briefing and say, Saieed, you have to be contented. You have to be happy. Marvin, the next best thing for you to do is to resign and get the hell out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saieed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. Remember, as we say every night, share our live stream on Facebook and YouTube. Real Talk with Saieed Ali on Facebook and STT Real Talk on YouTube. So, viewers, the Northwest Regional Health Authority is willing to settle with families whose babies died at the Port of Spain General Hospital Neonatal Intensive Care Unit. But listen to this. However, the compensation comes with the warning that the authority will not accept liability for the deaths. This is interesting now. This is interesting. Who is going to be held accountable for the death of the babies? Is it a grocery? Is it a car dealer? Is it a rental company going to be responsible for the death of the babies? Who is going to be responsible for the death of the babies? Now, can Terence Dialsing, the minister in the Ministry of Health in Trinidad and Tobago, put some clarification on that? Where was the mother given birth? By the bedside? The mother was given birth in a party or something? Was she home? We heard it was a bacteria. That is what caused the baby to die. Where did this happen? In the mommy's home? By some bar sitting down, they get bacteria? I am asking the authority in the Northwest Regional Health Authority, where did the babies die? So if I want to compensate the family, all well and good. But you telling the parents now that the compensation comes with warning that the authority will not accept liability for the deaths. So who have to accept the liability? A rental company? Does the fire station have to accept liability? Trinidad and Tobago, I'm asking you a question. I'm asking Terence Dialsing now a question. What's the... It look like I had to go by Marvin Gonzalez and ask him. Huh? Which department is to be held accountable for the death of the babies? Which department? The parents, though, through their attorney, have declined the offer of what they believe is tantamount to hush money. So now I want to ask the question of the probe that Pahu was doing. What was the result? Can this be made public? Can this result be made public? Can this go to Parliament? Now, through the Freedom of Information Act, can a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago get this information? Let me tell you something. It's a different step now, you know. So if the hospital or the authority will not accept liability, but wants to compensate the parents, how you call that money? Wait, how you call that money? Come on, Trinidad and Tobago. That could have been any mother in Trinidad and Tobago that lost their baby to a bacteria. Whose fault it is? Come on, Trinidad and Tobago. 2386716. I want to hear from all you. Now, representing the Northwest Regional Health Authority is the firm Polonis Blanc de Abastide, which wrote to the family's attorney at Freedom Law Chambers on May 3rd. The letter included scornful criticism of the firm for its handling of the proposal lawsuit, which the Northwest Regional Health Authority said were being used as political tool to reiterated request for proposal for compensation. Trinidad and Tobago, I want to hear, if that was your son or your daughter, what you would I do? Hear this, eh? Hear this, eh? They were being used as political tool and reiterated requests for proposal for compensation to the aggravated families without the admission of liability. So you're trying to pay me to shut my mouth? I don't know, I'm just asking a question. I am asking a question here. Is the authority giving me money to shut my mouth and they would not accept liability? What did Pahu find? What was the findings of Pahu? Could that be made public for Trinidad and Tobago? I would love for that to go public. I would love that. Meanwhile, representing the Northwest Regional Health Authority, Freedom Law Chamber denied the request, saying it amounted to accepting hush money. Now, the chamber added that this is not about money, as the Northwest Regional Health Authority seems to think, but because their clients are in pursuit of the truth and want justice to be based on the truth. All they want to compensate me, but all they want to be held liable. All they don't want the liability of being wrong. I smelling millions. I smelling courthouse with families. Where did the parents give birth? By the beach? By a river? In the bedroom, watching TV? In their kitchen? Where? I'm Trinidad and Tobago. Open all your mind, open all your ears, open all your eyes. Moving along. The Court of Appeal has dismissed an appeal over the government's move to extend the term of Police Commissioner Earla Haywood Christopher by a year before she attained retirement age last year. So the Court of Appeal has dismissed an appeal over the government move to extend her term. Now, delivering an oral judgment earlier this morning, appellate judges rejected the appeal that was brought by political and social activist Ravi Balgobin after his case was dismissed by the High Court Judge Ricky Rahim in January. The outcome of the case clears the way for the cabinet to decide whether to extend Haywood Christopher's term by another year before she celebrates her birthday next Tuesday. You see how tricky it is now? You see how tricky it is? A woman with no background in criminal fighting. A woman who said to Trinidad and Tobago, me being the Commissioner of Police, all our plans fail. That is what I want to put back for our next year? Yeah, all are good, you know. All are really good. In the lawsuit, Maharaj challenged the decision taken by Cabinet to extend Haywood Christopher terms by a year under Section 75 of the Police Service Act before she reaches retirement age on May 15th last year. The legislation empowers the President to extend the term of the First Division Officer who is due to retire if it is in national interest to do so. Police officers can receive 2 further 1-year extension based on annual performance review. So here it is, based on annual performance review. The woman came out and said my plans failed. Out of 25,000 gun applicants, she only did 100. Crime is escalating in Trinidad and Tobago, and her year in office, oh, trust me, we saw hell break loose in Trinidad. And that's the same person I want to elect back for next year. For hell to break loose twice now in Trinidad. All good? So we're looking forward for more housebreaking. We're looking forward for more drive-by shooting. We're looking forward for more people being gunned down. We're looking forward for more housebreaking. We're looking forward for more business bandit mashing up glass and going in. Is that what we're looking forward for in the next year to come? I will tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago. Every government minister has bodyguard. What do you have? I'm asking you, what do you have? We have a police commissioner in the last year did absolutely nothing to fix the police force, to enhance the police force, or to bring up a plan to fight crime in a country where she lives, in a country where her brother and sister lives, maybe grandchildren lives. You know when them is feel it? You see when they come out of the service? That is when there is feeling. When they have no power again. No power. You can't pick up the phone and make a phone call. But you have no power again. What are you demanding me of? Oh, that's how the conversation is. So this is the same woman I want to put back? Wow. Trinidad and Tobago. All look good, yes? All are really, really good. So viewers, UNC leader Kamala Prasad Bisesa has called out the government administration over its inaction following the TNT spate of killing and warning that the opposition would not be supporting government's proposed change to the Firearm Act. Well, I would support the UNC on this. Let me tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago. If more homeowners had firearms, let me tell you something. Bandit would have think twice to enter into your home. Take what I'm telling you. Take what I'm telling you. If a bandit know a homeowner have a gun, he will think twice to come inside the property and Tifika, knowing he could be gunned down. Does the Minister of National Security knows this? No, he don't know this. You know why? Them living with bodyguards 24 hours a day for 5 years. So they lost the sense of, I wonder who watching me, boy. I wonder who want to come after me, boy. They lost that sense for 5 years. They want to tell you you shouldn't have a gun, but they have men that taxpayers' money paying to watch their back to make sure nobody else shoot them. That is what they're doing. You cannot have a gun, Saieed. Wait now, you tell me, so you could have a bodyguard? Yes, Saieed, because me are paying for it, your tax money paying for them. We stupid Trinidadians. We foolish. We don't care damn, we dumb. That is us, Trinidadians. Everything our government minister say, as long as we like him, we go clap and applaud him. But as you get paid, watch me. As you collect the money in your hand, you know, I had to do X, I had to do Y, I had to do Z, but look, my salary done already. You even vote for improvement in your community. Think about that. Now, according to Kamala, nothing the latest spate of violence of 8 in Kokorit, Prasad Bisesa called on the government to state what became of Anthony Watkins' committee. They appointed to investigate crime in depressed communities. And listen to this.
I make a call tonight again. Mr. Rowley, you appointed a committee in 2020 to investigate crime in depressed communities. I make this call again because of the massacre at Kokorit over the weekend, the ongoing bloody murders in communities around our country. In one of his many gimmicks to put off dealing with the crime horror, Rowley in July 2020 announced a committee headed by Anthony Watkins to examine crime at hotspots. So I can name some of those areas or communities. Since then, since 2020, we have never heard a single thing about that committee. Nothing about that committee. Nothing about their recommendations. And nothing of government's adoption of any measures to curb the crime.
So Trinidad and Tobago, she also stated, when you look at the crime photos, you wonder if we are in Gaza. The government, now she called for the government to also say what happened to the CARICOM Crime Symposium.
When we look at those photos, you wonder if we are in Gaza. You wonder if we are somewhere in Ukraine in a battle zone, but these are our citizens. We have a Prime Minister missing in action. At a time when this is happening, over this weekend, I'm saying 4 were massacred in Mayarum, 5 were massacred in Hart Place, 4 were massacred in Kokorit. There have been 47 murders per month in our country. Last year we had average 45, so there's an increase of the murders happening each year. The government must also explain what recommendations they implemented from the gimmick anti-crime symposium in April 2023. Big drama.
Now viewers, she noted that the government is doing everything they can to help criminal attack persons by recommending gun-free zones where a person cannot have a legal firearm in any of these places. Only listen to this.
And you want to come and tell me, no, you don't want to give legal guns to our citizens to defend themselves? We will fight that, and we will never support those amendments to the Firearms Act. Joel was tied up. She was beaten with a gun. She was threatened to be shot in a very horrifying ordeal. They're doing everything they can to help criminals attack you. They are recommending, as Saddam told us, the gun-free zones, which is a parliament. He told us courts, schools, colleges, universities, childcare centers, bars, banks, places of worship, and any government or private buildings declared by the minister. So this is just a list, because then what they will do, the minister will come and just keep adding. Basically, they're saying you cannot have a legal firearm in any of these safe places. So you will have to leave it at home. As Saddam explained, you're going out and so on, leave it. Now, I think the most important point that identified by MP Saddam is this. It means anytime you go in anywhere near these places, and you go these places very often, banks and schools and places, the gunmen, the illegal men, the bandits say, no, you don't have your gun, your legal gun.
So if you're going to the bank now and you're a licensed firearm holder, you're going to the police station and lodge your firearm, leave your gun at home, walk with your 2,000-3,000 in your pocket and go to the bank where a bandit know now that, hey, the bank had no gun, no individuals with firearm. So we could go in there day or night and stick them up. That makes sense? Make that make sense now, Dr. Rowley. Make that make sense. When a businessman going to the bank, he's going to do 2 things. Is that a deposit or withdraw? So you want to tell me, Saeed, when you go into the bank, you cannot go inside the bank with your firearm. What? What did you just say? I had $2,000 on me. I'm going to deposit into my account. I have a licensed firearm on me. And you telling me I cannot walk with that gun to protect me when I go into a place where I have millions of dollars? Kid Rowley, I feel your age acting up, you know. I feel your age acting up on you. Who are you being backed up by? The Minister of National Security? Who told Trinidad and Tobago his job is not to make you feel safe? Or they're creating a gun zone? Or they're creating an illegal gun zone? You can't go to the bank with your licensed firearm. I cannot go. So a man who don't have a license of a firearm, he could go in the bank and stick up all the way. Make that make sense, Trinidad and Tobago. Now, Keith Rowley, you make that make sense. If your family who have a licensed firearm go into the bank now and they're using that licensed firearm to protect themselves because they have money on them and there's business people and a bandit strike, who shooting who? The bandit go kill me and take my money. That is the game we're playing. That is what they're bringing to you Trinidadians. Oh, hey, watch man. We like to do Rowley this. Yay! When you go in the bank with a little 500 to deposit, knowing now, it don't have no gunman in the bank, what do you think the fellas with the illegal firearm going and do? What do you think they're going and do? They're going and storm the bank. They're going and storm the bank, you know why? They're going to have 2 or 3 gunmen in the bank, that is security. What about the individual now who have licensed firearm to help the security in the bank? What about them? Keith Rowley, come now, man. Make it make sense now. Trinidadians, all they don't be so clumsy at the same time. I telling all of that. Do not be so clumsy at the same time. You're getting half a bread. You want them to take away the half all they get when I'm supposed to get a whole one? This is why there is can't come around me. And this is why this program will always remain the #1 current affairs program. Caller, good night. Hello?
Yes, sir. Good night.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, go right ahead. Let's take a click one time. So viewers, we're going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to see the desecration. I don't know how to say this again. Eh? You're going to see what Trinidadians did to our holy ground after this.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Do you have a public concern you would like to highlight? You can email your pictures and videos to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com, and we will highlight your concerns on our show for Public Concerns Wednesday. Throws you a curveball, and you need a clear path forward. Trust Realtalk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Realtalk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Realtalk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Viewers, now remember viewers, Realtalk is the only financial company in Trinidad and Tobago that is offering you the interest payment upfront on a fixed deposit with us. Remember that. Realtalk is the only financial company in Trinidad and Tobago that is offering interest payment upfront when you open a fixed deposit with us. Now, you can also be members of the credit union. Buy shares open a savings account for the entire family. But the most important thing is the fixed deposit. Imagine you investing in a fixed deposit in Real Talk. Now remember, Real Talk is a group of companies. We have credit union, we have financial investment, we have license to lend money. You understand? So everything is above board, everything is legit. I always make sure I get my paperwork before I announce something. That's one thing I do all the time. So imagine you have your fixed deposit set up at a company or a commercial bank or a credit union, and the rate that we offer on fixed deposit, you're not getting it anywhere. At the top of that rate now, you're getting your interest up front. So you don't have to wait 10 years. You don't have to wait 5 years. You're getting it up front. Who else is doing that? No other financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago is doing that. You know what they call that? They call that proper management. You call that a solid future. That is what you call it. A solid future. But I know Real Talk Group, and I could tell you this. Real Talk Credit Union will be up the Caribbean, just like Real Talk Finance in Guyana. I'm already having talked with Grenada and Barbados to open a finance and investment company across there, and Real Talk Credit Union. So imagine that. We're expanding. We're not just local here. We are expanding. That is the difference with Real Talk. We have a vision to meet the people. Not only in Trinidad, you know, but other countries of the Caribbean. Think about that. You just think about that. How could Saieed open a financial institution in Guyana? It's not how could Saieed do it, you know. Saieed doing it. It's not how could we do it, you know. We're doing it. We're doing it. That's what I always tell all of you guys. When I tell you something, it's to watch me do it. We're in Guyana. We're going to Grenada and Barbados just now. We're meeting people. We're coming to meet you. A Kerb temple was desecrated overnight and its murtis destroyed. A statement from Satan Dharma Mahasabha Secretary General Vijay Maharaj said, the temple in Kerb, in Watt Street, was attacked and a 4-foot murtis were destroyed in the most violent manner. Videos showed murti lines scattered on the ground inside the temple. It also showed doors to the outside were broken on the ground. Maharaj believes the attack was deliberate. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, everyone knows that a sacred place is the church, the mosque, the temple, and the cathedral. Now, for an individual to go in a temple, a church, a mosque, or a cathedral and destroy it, you show that you don't care about the human race. You show that you don't care about who they serve. Now, keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. Trinidad and Tobago, we have a wide variety of religion and ethnic groups, culture, human race. We are colorful with that in Trinidad and Tobago. But by one individual or two individuals or some individual going into a sacred place and destroying it is you yourself telling yourself that there is no God, there is no sacred place. That is when you lose focus of yourself. That is when you lose direction of who you are. You tend to do these sorts of things. Secondly, I will say this. The Hindu pundits and them have a way of doing They lighten their light, I should say. And me, being a spiritual consultant, will tell the pundits and them, do what you gotta do. I just do what I had to do. When they made an attempt to kidnap my son, I did what I had to do as a spiritual man. Haven't? I do what I had to do. I get my justice. Keep her 7 nights, keep her 9 nights. Do your thing. Do your thing. You want to know why? You want to know why Saieed saying that now? Now listen to me carefully. That is a sacred place. That the temple was abused by some individuals who have lost their way. If you have lost your way and you come to mash up my temple, I will go and seek my God to deal with you in a different way. Because you literally know what you was doing. You damn well know what you was doing. You damn well know you jumped the wall. You damn well know you went in there to mash up from our side. Because you lost your way, you had to desecrate my sacred place. Now you're making a mistake. You're making a mistake. God ain't taking God out of God, you know. But I will take God out of my thought and deal with you. You know why? You want to know why? Because I have to protect what I have here. Common sense is teaching that, but not much people are common sense. You work, you build a house, you gonna allow somebody to come and mash it up? No, I will do whatever I have to do to protect my home. All follow me? Good. I'm glad all are following me. Call a good night.
Good night, Mr. Saieed. Great program as usual.
Thank you, my friend.
Very sad what we are seeing there.
Yes.
You know, but the good Lord will deal with those people, those miscreants that we have in society. And every lawless act today in this country, every crime is connected to politics and the police service. What we are seeing today have been spoken on your program years ago. A totally lawless society with disregard for human beings, disregard for every good thing in society. We live with destructive people, demonic people. The demonic politics of today is a reflection of what we are seeing there. Because you have people in the St. Julian village area, you could see this. Music day and night. You have old people, sick people. You have children.
Was it? We do apologize for that, caller. We do sincerely apologize for that. So viewers, it's Wednesday night. It's this time now where we go into our public concerns. That is the road, the bridges, the street lights, lack of water in the community, lack of representation. This is the time that we go into it. It's Wednesday night. So, first things first, fire officers. A female fire officer has threatened to sue the state after she was allegedly injured while testing a wooden ladder in January. And it's that. The officer, whose name was withheld based on a request from her attorney, Richard Jagger, made a threat in a pre-action protocol letter sent to the office of the Attorney General. In the course of performing an inspection and acceptance testing of certain equipment, namely a wooden ladder, she sustained a work-related injury caused by a ladder pulley system which was not properly affixed to the equipment. She was placed on sick leave and was forced to return to work on February 5th despite not fully recovering from or fully recovering after the leave expired. Jagger claimed that her injury worsened as she was placed on sentry duty, which required her to prepare written reports. She was initially granted 28 days sick leave based on a diagnosis, but remained on extended sick leave up until yesterday. Jagisar referenced procurement correspondent for the ladder, in which the company that produced it was informed that it met United States specification and not British specification used by the TTPS. 6 months ago, Chief Fire Officer Arnold Bristow defended the purchase, which he noted was done under the tenure of his predecessor. Now listen to this.
We would have moved towards tightening the way and the manner in which we would have done procurement in the organization to ensure that best practices are applied with all our procurement purchases. Those ladders would have gone through that process. People would have been allowed to tender for the process, as the case may be, and it would have been able, and it could be able to stand any scrutiny by any public body.
He said the standard fire truck appliance would normally be required to carry 3 ladders: a first floor ladder, a 13.5 meter extension ladder, and as well a 10.5 meter extension ladder. So that is 3 different types of ladders. He added that it was always been a choice of fire service to have wooden ladder because wood does not conduct electricity. Ooh, listen.
The standard appliance would normally be required to carry 3 ladders: a first floor ladder, a 13.5 meter extension ladder, as well as a 10.5 meter extension ladder. This ladder, fire service has always opted to have in wood for the mere reason wood is not a conductor of electricity. Another reason for that is because Trinidad and Tobago's electrical transmission lines are still operated above ground. So it gives the officer a tactical decision in terms of use of which ladder to apply at that time.
Now viewers, listen to this, eh? Through the proposed lawsuit, the fire officer is seeking compensation for her injuries, as well as a declaration that the state has breached its statutory duty under the Occupational Safety and Health Act, OSHA. The AG office was given 2 weeks to respond to the letter before a lawsuit is filed. The issue of the procurement of the 20 wooden ladders for $999,000 arose in late October last year, as it was revealed in response to a Freedom of Information Act. Is this one of those ladders? Is this one of those ladders? So hear this now. President of the Fire Service Association, Keon Guy, has stated that the Point 14 fire station continue to use borrowed equipment. Guy says equipment was pulled from different stations, including the Monrepo fire station, for the ceremonial opening of the new station on April 23rd. Chief Fire Officer Arnold Bristow said the borrowed equipment had already broken down, but was being serviced and would be up and running soon. Guy said the fire equipment allocated to Heritage Petroleum Company Limited was being used at the station. All right, listening to this? All listen good. He said when Petrogen closed down, the officers were retrenched. Stations in the area were given equipment to protect the industrial estate. Lack of equipment and other essential equipment has been an ongoing issue. Guy said, Hines repeated assertion that the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service was fully equipped. Now, could be refuted by government's failure to supply the breeding apparatus it had repeatedly promised. So it's a repeated promise over and over. You're getting it, you're getting it, you're getting it, you're getting it. Okay, 10 years passed. When are we getting it? When? The ministry issued a public notice inviting tenders to supply 250 self-contained breathing apparatus sets used by firefighters for oxygen and to protect against dangerous gas. At the time, Guy said he was angered by the notice. Guy previously complained that there were only 10 sets of apparatus for a force of 2,000 officers at 24 stations. Let me tell you something now, man. Well, listen to this.
The fire service, I would say, probably needs approximately 400 breathing apparatus sets to operate. We probably have less than 10 in circulation right now in the whole of Trinidad and Tobago. We call on the cabinet to swiftly and expeditiously address this dire situation. Our firefighters deserve better.
Wanna hear that? Call her good night. Hello?
Yes, sir. Good night.
Go right ahead, my friend.
Saeed, concerning that temple, why Saeed, boy?
It's sad, boy. It's sad.
Let me tell you something, boy. You see, society, on the whole, society breakdown, boy. People who don't want to believe that, they're living in denial, boy. Because let me tell you something. The small man looking at everything that's going on in Parliament, looking at all the high offices in the land, and seeing the kind of corruption and white-collar crime taking place. You understand? And they know to themselves they have no hope. They have nothing to turn to. But when you come out of university, you don't know where to go, you know.
Correct.
So, I mean, people on the whole, their mind just breaking from society, right?
Correct.
But let me tell you something concerning this whole issue with the fire service and thing, right? I want to try and understand how the hell you could open a fire station and have no fire tenders or it have no equipment in the station. So what it is a building station for? What it is? Is it an empty building for people to just go and park their car and sit down the whole day and truck a car and get paid? I don't know. I asking questions here because if it have a fire in that district, who going and attend to that fire site?
Correct.
Tell me now. Because honestly, all they're starting to do is squander the money, you know. And when all the money is finished side or running low, how are they going to fill back the treasury?
Correct.
By taxing my property and taxing your property? That is how they plan to get revenue. So people need to open their eye. I keep saying this. People need to open their eye and see what's going on. I just want to make one quick example before I go, right? Check it for yourself. 4 men dead in a pipe. They take a whole year to do a commission inquiry. $2 billion missing in the Ministry of Finance. They can't account for it. How long does it take to do this investigation? A week?
Correct.
1 week? And let me tell you how ironic the whole situation is. The man who getting accused and mismanaging and can't account for the money is the man that picked the team to investigate where the money going. The Auditor General telling you they cannot account for it and he going to bring a team now to cover up the whole situation. I telling you why, this country, this is not a real place on the side. Anyway, you enjoy your night side.
Thank you, my friend. Now, Trinidadians or Trinbagonians, I just want to say this, and now let's think about this. The Ministry of Finance cannot give a call for $2.6 billion, but is telling you, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, if you do not pay your property tax, you could lose your property. That is the same ministry, same minister that went to Parliament and said, if you do not send in your property tax application to pay property tax, you can be fined $5,000 for criminal offense. That same minister now, who running that ministry now, the Ministry of Finance, cannot give account now for $2.6 billion. Trinidad and Tobago, from Saieed Ali to you, let that sink in your head. Let that sink in your head. That minister went to Parliament and told the Parliament, if you ain't support us in this legislation of property tax, and you ain't file your document, you could be charged for a criminal offense. $2.6 billion and you can't give account for. Auditors General is telling you that. You cannot give account for that. There is no paper trail for $2.6 billion. But you want to tell me as a citizen, if me file my application under a Criminal Offense Act, I could face a $5,000 penalty? And all you can give account for $2.6 billion? Trinidad and Tobago, I will always say this. We too foolish. We ears too deaf. And we eyes blurry. We cannot see what is taking place in our own country by our own ministers in our country. Because there's a minister, them educated and them fill the criteria to be a minister. Let me tell you something. There are so much educated people in Trinidad and Tobago, but they just don't want to be in that position. So don't tell me who are they favored by? They are favored by you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Other than that, they are just businessmen. Let me tell you something. I speak in 6 different languages. 2 exams away from being a chemical engineer. I have an accountant. I have maths. I have English. I have 6 different languages I could talk in. I could go up to be a minister of parliament. I could do that. But you know what it would do? It will short my hand of helping people. That is what it would do. It will short my hand. Because if I want to help South, I had to pass through one set of things before I could help one person South. That's the difference. So, Wasa repair down in Williamville. In the Williamville area, Wasa, the Water and Sewerage Authority, has been fixing leaks and installing new pipelines. Now, according to residents, Wasa have seen it fit to destroy a newly paved section of the Guayakara Tabakit Road in the name of leak repair. Wasa is also running pipeline in an area with no leaks, resulting in further destruction of the roadway and corpus dust. There has been destruction in the Bonaventure Road from Gasperlo, also in the name of leak repair. One resident added that after crime, Wasa is the biggest problem in this country. This is according to Apple. Look at that road. Oh, let's see that road. Oh, let's see that road. Oh. So we're going for a short commercial break, viewers, but when we come back, lack of rainfall forced Wasa to adjust water schedule after this break.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Report Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Report Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Do you have a public concern you would like to highlight? You can email your pictures and videos to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com, and we will highlight your concerns on our show for Public Concerns Wednesday. throws you a curveball. And you need a clear path forward. Trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome back to Real Talk, viewers. So viewers, spread the word. Real Talk is offering you upfront interest payment on a fixed deposit with our company. We are the only financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago is giving you, the citizens of our country, this offer. No other financial institution in our country of Trinidad and Tobago is actually doing this. Why are we doing this at Real Talk? Is to meet your demand at the end of the day. Now, everyone needs extra cash. Hence the reason why we at Real Talk have decided to do this. Give you your upfront cash and interest on a fixed deposit. Only at Real Talk. The viewers also be members of our credit union, buy our shares, open a savings account for the kids, for the family. Remember, we are the only one doing business like this in Trinidad. And keep in mind, we are a licensed financial institution. So everything is paperwork and it is done the correct. The dry season has led to the Water and Surge Authority, Wasa, making further adjustment to its water supply schedule because of a reduction in the production of millions of gallons of water. In a statement, Wasa explained, the dry weather and a lack of rainfall led to a 10% production shortfall in water supply. Wasa said this loss in the production accounts for nearly 25 million of gallons of water per day. It means that while Wasa has been making adjustments throughout the 2024 dry season, such as along the transmissioning and distribution of pipeline network, the introduction of new groundwater source in some areas, the expanded water trucking service. Some places across the country will soon see even less water in their taps. Imagine places don't getting water. And you will see less water now. So like I said, Trinidad and Tobago, every year come, it's the same thing. It's the same thing, it's the same thing. Water schedules, lack of water, dry taps. 1.4 million people in Trinidad and Tobago, according to the statistics. Currently, 1975 have been shut down for a number of years. Thousands of acres of land that the state owned has just been there doing absolutely nothing. Government is spending millions of dollars all over Trinidad and Tobago. They're allocating money from all over. But Wasa can't seem to find, out of the 1,000 acres of land that the state have now, Wasa can't seem to find proper areas throughout our country to dig dam to store water. They can't do that. I'll tell you something. You see production in Trinidad and Tobago? We are at our lowest level. Lowest level. We are the worst in the Caribbean. The worst. We have a pitch lake. We are the worst road in the Caribbean. We are the oil refinery. We run out of gas now. You tell me. You, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, you tell me. Am I talking nonsense? Or is it that poor management cannot manage our resources we have in Trinidad? Let me tell you something. I am one of the board of directors in a Real Talk group of company. I am also the president of Real Talk Credit Union. I am also the managing director of Real Talk Finance and Investment. And I go tell you something. Visions is something I have. We are extending and expanding our credit union, our finance and investment to other countries. This is finance. This is money flow. We are expanding outside Trinidad and Tobago. So you want to tell me all these government ministers who were selected by the people and voted in by the people of Trinidad and Tobago, you want to tell me they may have common sense? They don't have common sense? But when Saieed talk, Saieed bashing the PNM. The Minister of Finance can't give an account, but telling you, you'll be charged 5,000 if you submit your application to pay property tax. How are you swallowing that now? How are you swallowing that now? I have a list of money spent that they can't give an account for. Trust me, go boss it right here. Right here on Real Talk, go boss. You see last night, I break down last night's show. That would have been when Tuesday night show. You see how I break telling steps? So you're going to know, AG, stay out of finance business. It is not your place to threaten anybody. You see how people overstepping their bong now because they have a little power? What side they have power to? What side, what kind of power you are? God give me power to command that spirit. God give me power to do spiritual work. Here's the reason why I could stand up here bold and brave and tell all you what is going on with Trinidad and Tobago and how to fix it. But we have some leaders now who run in the country, who are on a board now, who have a little bit of, well, you know, I, John Doe, and I have a little power in me. What power? You have physical power. You can't even manage the department you're in. You can't. But all they're telling me I bashing. I stand up right here and push for pepper spray for your wife and your girlfriend and your daughter to go and apply in the station and get it to protect themselves. But I bashing PNM. All are good, you know. All are real good. Do me a favor, don't waste my time and your time. If you're foolish, try to be educated. I will tell you that. You know why? Because you're living in a country where your ears need to be open to find out what is taking place in your country, and you have an eye to see actually what is taking place in your country with facts being demonstrated in front of your eye. And you have a brain now that God gave you to sit down and analyze what you're seeing from what you're hearing. And I love that, eh? So viewers, nevertheless, we are out of time for tonight. But a rerun of this program is tomorrow from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Remember, only on Synergy. You will see Real Talk with Saieed Ali, except social media platform. Until we meet again, good night.